Hi class, I'm Caitlin Thompson and I'm excited to present to you my final analysis of the debate over gun control in America. Let's get started. For this final statistical analysis project, I've decided to tackle the public policy issue of the gun control debate in America. Over the past 5 years, America has seen a rise of mass shootings around the country. Legislators and activists alike are searching for a solution to what many categorize as a national epidemic. The public debate over increasing gun control measures to prevent these tragedies while still preserving the rights protected by the Second Amendment has played out in Congress and across the media. To better understand the reasons why many Americans favor gun control measures or oppose them, it will be helpful to survey the statistics behind many of Americans' support for the government's role in managing firearms. As part of the General Society survey, thousands of Americans participated in a questionnaire aiming to capture their demographic information and prevailing attitudes about many questions, including several about their feelings on a variety of public policy questions. We will use information collected in this survey as the basis of our analysis. Identifying trends in this survey data will help policymakers to better understand the motivations behind those who do and do not support increased gun control measures. Now let's look at the specific research questions. First, what effect do an individual's feelings about safety and I'm excited to present to you my final analysis of the debate over gun control in America. Is there a correlation? Let's get started. Secondly, what effect do an individual's feelings about hard work statistical analysis project? I've decided to tackle the public policy issue of the gun control debate in America. Over the past 5 years, America has seen a rise of mass shootings around the country. Legislators and activists alike are searching for most populations to what would be impossible to ask every American about his or her public debate over increasing gun control measures to prevent these tragedies while still preserving the rights protected by the Second Amendment has made general statements about the population at large. To better understand the reasons why many Americans favor gun control measures or oppose them, it will be helpful to survey the statistics behind many of Americans' support for the government's role in managing firearms. A notable limitation of this project is the general survey question pertaining to dependent variables. Thousands of Americans participated in a questionnaire on gun restrictions and a demographic information and prevailing attitudes about many questions, including several about their feelings on a variety of public arguments are less focused on a person's ability to buy a gun collected in this survey as the basis of our analysis. Identifying trends in this survey data will help policymakers to better understand the motivations behind those who do and do not support increased gun control with a series of more detailed questions about the extent to which firearms should be monitored by the government in order to further explore the respondents' feelings on various aspects and level of government restrictions on firearms. Own neighborhood have upon her view about gun control. Next, we have the variable list. Is there a correlation? For this project, I've chosen two independent variables. Do an individual's feelings about hard work have upon her view of gun respondents? Is there a correlation any area around here that is within a mile where you would be afraid to walk alone at night? Next, let's look at the Dataset Description. The second independent variable is getahead, where respondents are asked most to answer the following question. It would be impossible to ask every American about his or her feelings on these specific variables. Others say that lucky breaks or help from a population and then use this information from the sample to make general statements about the population at large. For this project, I plan to use the public opinion poll available in the General Statistical Survey of 2012, that I discussed earlier in this presentation. Would you favor or oppose a law? A notable limitation of this project is that the survey question pertaining to the dependent variable only evaluates the respondent's view on gun restrictions in a limited fashion, or oppose on his or her view of getting any kind of police permit before obtaining a gun. The public policy arguments are less focused on a person's ability to buy a gun with any permit, but more about to what extent these qualifications was. I hypothesized that the safer a person feels, this project, the more they support gun control measures. This evaluation, this is because a series of more detailed questions about the extent to which firearms should be monitored by the government in order to further explore the respondents' feelings on various aspects and level of government restriction on firearms. Secondly, I further hypothesized that the more a person relies on hard work for their success as opposed to luck, for this project, I've chosen two independent variables. The first is fear, more to autonomy, and a lot of my is there any area around here that is within a mile where you would be afraid to walk alone at night? Many view the second independent variable is getahead, where respondents are asked to answer the following question. A person that relied on their own hard work get ahead by their own hard work to have a greater sense of autonomy and a less of a sense of reliance on the community. Which one do you think is more important? To start this analysis, I'd like to continue to run a bivariate correlation. Let's talk about the dependent variable. There are three characteristics of a bivariate. That would be gunlaw. Would you favor associations, each of which I will evaluate upon which would require a person to obtain a police permit before both independent variables? I will be evaluating respondents were asked to either choose first, does an association exist? Second, how strong is that association? And third, what is the pattern or direction of the association? Now let's move to the hypothesis. The first hypothesis I made before running any statistical test was, I hypothesized that the safer a person feels, the more they support gun control measures. It is evident from the table that 77.7% of individuals surveyed favor gun permits, while 26.3% oppose gun permits. After evaluating the output as a whole, let's return to research questions specifically. Secondly, I further hypothesized that the more a person relies on hard work to walk at night, 79.6% favor gun permits, while 20.4% do not. This hypothesis speaks more to autonomy, and in a lot of my reading to prepare for this analysis, it talked about how of those surveyed, the data shows that as those who favor gun permits, so 73.2% believe that success is derived relied on their own hard work over other means. To of those who oppose gun permits, autonomy and less of a sense of hard work is the best means toward achieving success. Now we will explore the percentage of variation in beliefs about gun permits that can be explained by each of the independent variables. There are three characteristics of bivariate associations, each of which I will evaluate between the variables, calculating the results of this test. In both independent variables, I will be evaluating the following calculations for both independent variables. First, does an association exist? Second, we find that fear has significant. And third, what is the pattern or direction of the association? Correlation, but getahead does not. Next, let's move to results. Feelings about whether luck or hard work or reasons for success cannot be classified. It is evident from the table that 77.7% of people surveyed favor gun permits, while 26.3% oppose gun permits. After running the correlation, evaluating the output as a whole, let's return to research and views about gun control are explained by fear. There are those who are afraid to walk at night, but 79.6% favor gun permits, while 20.4% do not. In conclusion, based on this statistical analysis, we see that those who feel safe have high support for gun permits. Of those surveyed, the data shows that do not feel safe also have high support for gun permits. 73.2% believe that success is derived from hard work. Now for the next variable, over other means. It seems that gun permits are favored highly no matter what people rely on for success. Believe that hard work is the best means toward achieving success. People who value hard work over other means. Now we will explore the percentage of variation in beliefs about gun permits that can be explained by each of the independent variables. For those who rely on luck or help, we see that to find the statistical significance between the variables, we look at Pearson's and for those respondents that value hard work and luck or help equally for both independent variables, 77.5% and getahead. We find that fear has significant correlation, but getahead does not. In conclusion, statistical analysis is an important tool for building public policy. The government relies on a great deal of research before implementing policies, and statistical information is an important element of that research. As the debate over the appropriate role of government regulation of the firearm industry continues, statistical information will continue to be an important element of the narrative for both sides of the debate. There is an association, as I recommended in an earlier section, this study should not stand alone, but should be part of a larger conversation about the motivations Americans have for their support or opposition of gun control measures. Based on this statistical analysis, is collected over the coming years, that data should be analyzed to see how Americans' opinions those who do not feel safe also have high support for gun permits or remain the same. Identifying trends and information can help policymakers to better understand the gun permits are favored highly no matter what people the public has about certain issues. As you can see, hard work, information people who value hard work over other means. One example would be if a coalition or interest group is looking for a way to appeal to a legislator or the American public at large to build support for an issue or an initiative. And for those of information those respondents that value hard work and luck or help equally, activist groups 77.5% about topics that the population might care about or other information that could be essential to building their case. Statistical analysis is part of a larger Statistical analysis is an important tool for building public policy. The government relies on a great deal of research before implementing policies, and statistical information is an important element of that research. Thanks so much for listening. As the debate over the appropriate role of government regulation of the firearm industry continues, statistical information will continue to be an important element of the narrative for both sides of the debate. As I recommended in an earlier section, this study should not stand alone, but should be part of a larger conversation about the motivations Americans have for their support or opposition of gun control measures. As newer data is collected over the coming years, that data should be analyzed to see how Americans' opinions on these issues has evolved or remain the same. Identifying trends and information can help policymakers to better understand the motivations behind these attitudes that the public has about certain issues. This information can be useful for a variety of purposes. One example would be if a coalition or interest group is looking for a way to appeal to a legislator or the American public at large to build support for an issue or an initiative. Information and analysis from surveys can help these activist groups and activist groups appeal to their legislators about topics that the population might care about, or other information that could be essential to building their case. Statistical analysis is part of a larger body of research which public officials rely upon when making decisions, so they can better understand the citizens they're working to serve. Thanks so much for listening to this presentation, and good luck in the rest of the course.